Okay. What's going on, everybody? My name is Mangg. Welcome back to Hanging with Mangg. We are playing a little bit of Factorio here. I started recording today this playthrough of Factorio with the Exotic Industries mod. So we're just gonna putter around here, slowly filling in stuff. But yeah. Always good to do another Hanging with Mangg. So, this week on this channel, we had Wrath of the Righteous. That will finish this week, I assure you. It seems that people have been enjoying it, though, so that's really good. Because we're going to roll right into Kingmaker. Now, I would say Kingmaker is not the better game of the two. I would say overall it's going to be more of the same for those that are interested in that. It's still going to be, you know, the same kind of gameplay and a lot more dialogue and characters and all that sort of stuff. The story is either better or worse depending on your kind of perspective and thoughts on scale, I guess. You know, Wrath of the Righteous is very big. It's very big time. You can become, like, you know, a demigod, and you're dealing with deities, and, you know, things like that. You're dealing with very big events. You go to hell, all that sort of stuff. Or not hell, you go to the abyss. You talk directly to deities, blah, blah, blah. Kingmaker's much smaller scale. For the most part. You still do end up talking to sort of essentially deities. But a lot of the game is pretty smaller scale of just trying to build up this kingdom and run your kingdom and dealing with, you know, trolls and stuff like that. And it's much more varied. It's not all just demons, and here's more demons. There's all sorts of problems and enemies, and politics. So it kind of depends on your perspective. I liked the story, and I liked several of the characters quite a bit. Several of the characters, like, I really kind of wished were just in Wrath of the Righteous. I wanted them to keep going, you know? So yeah, Kingmaker was fairly enjoyable. The later, like, end sections were very much a slog, though. That's where I ended up doing a lot of my complaining. So, yeah. I recall towards the end, I was like, yeah, I'm probably never going to replay this game. Now, though, after replaying through Wrath of the Righteous like 4 more times, I could maybe see going back and doing another Kingmaker run. Just for the variety's sake. So there's that. Then we also have Final Fantasy 16. That is also going to continue probably for quite a while. It's tricky. So far it's just been a lot of dialogue, a lot of cutscenes, a lot of talking, you know, the least favorite parts of video gaming to me. So it's getting tougher to motivate myself to keep playing it. And start up recordings. You know, if I'm really into a game, I record like 12 hours a day, you know. I finish a video, and then I go to the bathroom, and then I start up another video. You know, that's when I'm really into a game. and the videos just flow. So that's how I end up with just gobs of stuff on my hard drive. Because I just record 40 hours in like a few days. When I'm not that into a game, that's when I record a video basically when I need to upload a video for the series. And it just is like, okay, 2 days have gone by. Oh, I guess I have to record this. And that can be for different reasons. I mean, I'm excited to get to like the more open sections of Final Fantasy 16, where the game opens up and you can do side quests and blah blah blah. But yeah, these just cutscene exposition dumps and all that just really, yeah. So yeah, that's where we're at with that. Also, best games of all time, that is continuing. I'm up to... We're up to 1996. I just did Knights... No, I just did Quake. I just did Quake. So the next one will be Resident Evil. If I am reading this correctly. So I actually don't have that many more recorded. I mean, there's a decent number. Probably have like 15 more recorded. But I'm still sitting on Suikoden 2. I need to get back to play that game. I don't want to declare yet if I think it's one of the best games of all time or not. I just haven't played enough of it. So I need to actually get back to it. So yeah, that's continuing on. I'm trying to upload one of those every 3 days. That's basically where I'm at. And then Two Brothers Play. Yeah, yesterday we did Factorio. Probably doing more Factorio Wednesday. Maybe more Factorio next Saturday. I don't know if we're both into it. And that's it for this channel. Over on the Exploring series, I put out a video on the Admonition Intermission, which did all right for itself, as usual. Can't complain. And this week I worked on a 40K video about Nurgle, the Plague God, the Lord of Decay. And it ended up being right around 15 minutes long. I mean, it's never a matter really of laziness. Let me just say that. It's not like, oh, this could have been an hour video, but I just got lazy. I don't do that. If I was feeling lazy, and it really was going to be to the detriment of the video and its proper length, I would delay the video. Yeah, I would do something like the Robute video. I wasn't necessarily lazy that way. I was just having like a writing issue. And so that got delayed. I just immediately pivoted to doing a Lovecraft thing because it just was like, this will be an inferior video of what it should be. So every video is just the length that it needs to be. And for Nurgle, that ended up being around 15 minutes. To go much longer than that would either be to repeat myself too much within the video itself, or to sort of be redundant with other videos that I've done. Like, you know, repeating too much from what I talked about in the video on Chaos, or repeating stuff about, like, the Plague Wars that I just did with Robute, or, you know, something like that. So, videos are as long as they need to be. No more, no less. Well, that's the idea, anyways. So, I would imagine each video on the other Chaos Gods is going to be similarly length. And the thing that I really want to discuss in each of those videos with the Chaos Gods is more like their philosophy, their ideologies. Not really going over too much about like their history, or what that may be, or talking too much about like their demonic minions and their chaos space legions that are loyal to them or anything like that. Really, I want to just talk about their ideologies because I think that's the most interesting thing to me, at least. So yeah, I would say, you know, the majority of like the Nurgle videos sort of talking about the contradictory nature of Nurgle, being the god of decay and despair and destruction and corruption and rot, while also being sort of a deific figure that celebrates new life and is very jovial about life. And sort of what that means to his followers that, you know, might start to worship Nurgle, and why they might start to worship Nurgle. So that's sort of what's going to be going over in all the Chaos God videos. And that's to be, you know, video orders to be determined by patrons, but I think the videos on the various Chaos Gods are going to be pretty popular choices. But it looks like the next 40k video is going to be on armaments of the Imperium. And that's going to be really exciting for completely opposite reasons. Just going over all the super badass weaponry that they have and the big ships, and discussing like how insane their like battle cruisers are, and, you know, all that sort of stuff. So that should be fun. Yeah, so that's where we're at. The next SCP video is going to be on... Oof. Wow. Right now it's neck and neck. I actually have to download the results in a CSV file just to see specific numbers. Oh, but this is just telling me who voted. This isn't what I want. Oh, I should be able to tell. Damn. How am I not allowed to see specific numbers? You used to be able to see specific voting numbers for the poll. Now it only shows it as a percentage. How can I tell ties? Two of them are tied at 30% of the vote. And the download results CSV file just shows me who voted for what. I'd have to manually go through and count the votes. I doubt I'll end up doing that. So it most likely then the winner is going to be SCP-7002, unless someone comes along and swings the vote. Yeah, so that's basically all there is to say about that. I went and saw The Flash this week, which was a long time in the making, and it was okay. I think a lot of my friends really had, like, I think they had all these thoughts that I was like, this was a major movie for me. Because like 10 years ago, when this movie was first announced and the Flash show started and stuff like that, I was really big into the Flash, and I would always talk about the Flash. And I have like 2 baseball caps with, you know, the Flash logo on it. And anyone that would listen, I would tell him all the awesome things about what the Flash could do and his great achievements and blah, blah, blah. And I was very big into the Flash. And that's what a lot of people remember, is that I was a huge, big fan of the Flash. Now, though, 10 years later, I don't really care much about the Flash. In so much as I don't really care about almost anything in the comic book world. So, you know, people were like, "Oh, well, you know, what do you think? What do you think about the Flash? Like, how are you? You know, originally I wasn't even sure if I wanted to go see it. You know, like, how can you not go see the Flash movie? Like, you know, nowadays I would say my favorite superhero is the Hulk. If you recall, I did a big video a while back. What did I title that video? Sure, it's on this channel still. Yeah, Mangg discusses the Hulk, 1962 to 1976. It was an hour and 53 minutes of me just discussing the Hulk in the comics from 1962 to 1976 because I read every single comic that the Hulk was in between those years. It ended up getting 297 views, which is pretty impressive, although only like 1 comment and 2 likes. So I think people just weren't really interested in all I had to say about the Hulk. Yeah. So that was like this big plan I had where I was going to read every single comic the Hulk was in. I think when I started, I had an inkling of how big of an endeavor that was, but yeah, I didn't really get much farther than that. And let me just tell you, it's a really stupid idea. Don't ever do that. If you're interested in getting into comic books, maybe specifically for one character, don't do what I don't. Yeah, don't read all the side stories and all the side issues and like. Because you can go, I don't remember the name of the site, but there are sites that list every single appearance for any character. And you can, I had, you know, a subscription to Marvel Unlimited. And that had basically everything. And so I would read issues where the Hulk would just show up like momentarily, and you'd get like the big group stuff with the Avengers where, you know, the Hulk's just like has 1 line or something. But I would read the whole issue. And when you do that, like, you have no context, really. You have no yeah, because I would read like random, you know, issues of like Namor or something. Like, you'd have no context for what's really happening. The Hulk would show up and blah blah blah, and there'd be a fight scene, but it's just like, you don't need to do that. Just read like the main line for the character you're interested in and be happy about it. So yeah, that was that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, the Flash movie. So yeah, I never did that for the Flash. And I didn't really ever read that many Flash comics. But I just, you know, he was a cool character with a cool power. And that was basically it at the time of my interest. And I did watch the Flash show quite a bit. And then I fell off of that because it was just CW nonsense. So yeah, I mean, ultimately the movie was fine. It's hard to say if it really felt like a DC movie. You know, it certainly felt a bit like a Marvel movie, like, because that's what they're kind of going for in a lot of ways. That's why I said the Blue Beetle trailer we saw just looked like a Marvel movie. Michael Keaton was cool and good. I mean, Batman 89, I probably saw once. I don't have, like, these, you know, great nostalgic feelings for Batman 89. It came out the year before I was born. The action was good. I mean, yeah, as a fan of speedsters, I guess I would say I'm still a fan of, like, seeing speed powers in film and stuff. It was pretty cool. There was some pretty cool speedster stuff going on, as there fucking should be in a movie about the Flash. There were some cameos. I won't spoil anything. I think, you know, if you're interested in the movie, you probably are already aware of one of them. I think everyone in my friend group was aware of one of them. But none of us were aware of another one. And that was a pretty big surprise. It was pretty good. That's all I'll say. So yeah, I mean, if you're on the fence about comic book movies, I don't think anything in The Flash will change your mind. I think if you're a big fan of, like, Batman 89 and Michael Keaton and stuff, you probably should see this at some point. It is kind of a nice tribute to that. Not that it really ever needed a tribute, I don't think. I don't think Michael Keaton ever needed any sort of closure to his career as Batman. But, you know. And with the whole multiverse sort of reset thing that DC is doing, I don't know where this movie falls into. So yeah, it's just kind of a thing that exists. I might rewatch it someday if I'm in the mood for more speedster goodness. But it's okay. Certainly not like my most anticipated movie of the year. I'm pretty sure that's Mission Impossible. Anywho. So for those that have been following my ongoing ordeal with this girl I've been chatting with, you know, last Saturday, I think it was, we ended up exchanging Steam usernames. So I got her on the Steam friends list. And I found this game that I think would be perfect called TikTok. Very simple, cross-platform, pretty short, puzzle, all, you know, checked every box. It was all good. And I gifted it to her because it was like $6, very cheap. And I'm like, all right, you know, whenever we have a couple hours, we can just get on the phone and play this. And she said, sounds like a plan. It was all good. And so then Sunday or Monday, I don't remember, I asked her what she was doing Tuesday. You know, I figured it's best to just get something on paper, a time, a date, all that, you know. It's the best thing. You can't dilly-dally then. So I said, okay, Tuesday, 8 o'clock. She said she's going to be spending time with her best friend because it's her birthday. I'm like, okay, Thursday, 8 o'clock. And she was kind of sparsely replying. around that time. So the next day, she responds and says, tomorrow should work! Exclamation point. I'm like, all right, this is gonna be good. Thursday, 8 o'clock. We're gonna be playing this game, and we're gonna have a gay old time. So I text her on Thursday at like 5:30, and I'm like, I'm not sure what your internet connection is like, but it's for some reason the game's like a gigabyte. That doesn't seem like efficient programming, but you may want to just log on and start downloading it. I get a response at 7:30 that says, I'm going to paraphrase, I'm not going to read it verbatim. Basically, hey, I've got to be honest, I just don't think I have the time in my life right now to get into dating. Something to that effect. Again, that's not exactly, it was something to that effect. Then she said, you seem like a great guy, and I'm sure you'll find someone, or something like that. And so I don't know. Ordinarily, and I would say most likely, what that means is that she's really not interested in talking to me ever again, but she wants to be polite about it, I guess. That's how most people would interpret it, and that's pretty much how I'm interpreting it. But it's sort of weird, because honestly, it came out of the blue. Because I had given her multiple opportunities to say she's not interested. It's better if she says she's not interested, if she isn't, so on and so forth. Because she really just, seemed busy all the time, even though didn't seem like she was busy all the time, And like the day before this, she's like, all right, we'll play a game tomorrow. Should work! Exclamation point! All that. She just became Steam friends with me. Blah, blah, blah. And then suddenly it's just, I don't have time for dating. I don't know. It's weird. So, I said, wow, that kind of came out of left field. But I appreciate the honesty. Most people would just ghost you, I think. I think ghosting is very, very common. So most people would just ghost you. But she at least said something. And, I said, well, keep my number. And, when you have more time, feel free to reach out, and odds are I'll still be single, so, otherwise, best of luck to you. Now, like I said, most likely she just suddenly was, or not suddenly, she just realized she really was not interested and didn't want to prolong this any more than need be. But, on the off chance that maybe she's just really struggling to figure out her life and, you know, and all that. I mean, she said multiple times through this whole thing that she really struggles with, like, time management and is easily overwhelmed. So, yeah, maybe. Maybe she's just kind of struggling. I certainly didn't want to imply, like, okay, you don't need to lie to me, blah, blah, blah. I'll just take what you said at face value, and if so, then, you know, she really shouldn't have a problem maybe contacting me again in the future. Now, obviously, I'm back on the dating apps. I'm not going to hold out hope for anything like that. But, yeah, I mean, all around, I guess it's a bummer. It's a bummer either that she wasn't interested. It's a bummer either that her life's a bit of a mess and it just doesn't work out that way. You know, whatever the case, it's a bummer. But I'm not overly bummed about it. She really was not great with texting. We never went on a date. You know, it was kind of a struggle. I had to initiate every single conversation, so on and so forth. So I'm not heartbroken or anything. I hope that she does sort of get her shit together and reaches out. Because, you know, we did have a lot in common, and she was attractive, and, you know, I think it could have been something cool. But, yeah, clearly, I mean, no matter what, even if she isn't interested, she does have some issues. Because if she's not interested, she kept it going for way too long. Most likely because she just didn't want to confront anything. But usually I find people that lack the ability to confront things like that, they are the ghosters. Those are people that love to ghost. Because then it's just like, okay, I avoid all confrontation. She did not do that. And she was honest the time when she backed out of the date and she said she couldn't handle it. So, I don't know. I don't know. You can speculate all day. I will note she did not remove me. She did not unmatch me from Bumble. Which is usually what ghosters do, because then, you know, otherwise the person could just message you on Bumble if they wanted to ask why you're ghosting them. So she didn't do that. Maybe she just didn't realize or something. I don't know. Hard to say. It's all hard to say. Like I said, I mean, do not throw your sympathies at me or anything like that, because I'm not really bummed out. The only thing I'm really bummed out about is that I have to go back on dating apps and do the whole grind again of like, oh, what do you do for a living? And how many siblings do you have? And what are your pet names? And, ugh. It's this whole process. I mean, I don't mind doing that. I don't mind learning about a person that I'm interested in. But it's just annoying, doing all that and then nothing comes of it, and you have to then just forget all that stuff because it's no longer of any relevance to you. But that's life, I guess. So yeah. Like I said, I mean, you never know. Maybe we'll hear from her again someday, but I'm not holding out hope for that. Much like I am not holding out hope that Final Fantasy XVI will ever stop throwing cutscenes in my face. But that's also life. Yeah, so I guess that's about it. Like I said, we're going to finish Wrath of the Righteous this week. We're going to start up Kingmaker this week. We're going to roll right into it because people are enjoying Wrath of the Righteous. Viewership on that so far has been pretty solid. Not amazing, but decent. And Final Fantasy 16 will continue for the indefinite future. And then video on Nurgle coming out tomorrow. Just a nice little 15-minute coffee break kind of video. But alright. My name is Mangg. This has been Hanging with Mangg. I'll see you fine folks next week.